The Panthers should have had momentum following the win against Georgia Tech, but unfortunately the young team was unable to keep it going. Against a pedestrian North Carolina team, the Panthers made the Tar Heels look like Supermen in Chapel Hill, and despite some inspired performances like Maurice French's touchdown catch, the Panthers were unable to win, losing 35-38 despite leading at points during the game. The next week in Orlando, the Panthers were even worse, never getting out of the starting gate against the Central Florida Knights, playing sloppy, making mistakes, and never even coming close, as the Knights ran away with it 45-14, getting their 17th straight win. A fan base that had been optimistic a month prior was confused as the Panthers sat below 500. Now at 2-3, everyone had questions as to where this Pitt Panthers team was going.
We have a lot of good senior leadership in the front row that sits right here. They had everyone's heads right.
Dennis, when you guys are in a little bit of a rut like this, 2 straight losses, 3 in the last 4, I mean, is there anyone in that locker room who sort of grabbing guys or is getting in front of the team and kind of taking it upon themselves to be an individual leader in a time like this?
While he didn't say so, Dennis Briggs was that leader the Panthers needed. A 2-time captain, his accomplishments as a leader greatly outshone those on the football field.
Even our kids on defense last night, Dennis Briggs sits where you do, thanked the Rocks because he said, Coach, the game was slower. Okay, the game was slower than what we had practice last week. So that's a good thing.
Y'all better be ready to fight. This is college football. Anybody can win a game. We got 30 minutes. I want your fight.
Man, this has been my life for the past 5 years, man. Playing on this field, some of the greatest memories I ever had. And we got another one right now.
If the Panthers were to turn this thing around, they'll need leaders like Dennis Briggs, especially as they headed home at 2-3, face off against an old Eastern rival, had one of their best seasons in many years. No one would say so publicly. Privately, it seemed as though the Panthers knew this was a do-or-die situation.
Time is come. We talked about responding to being a great football team, and that's what we got in here. Don't you ever question that.
Early on, the situation seemed dire. When quarterback Eric Dungey wasn't making life miserable for the Panthers, they were doing it to themselves. Freshman wideout Shocky Jacques Louis never did have the football, but his fumble gave quarterback Eric Dungey an opportunity he knew exactly how to make the most out of.
For 230-pound quarterback, play fake and then takes off on the zone read.
Dungey's scramble gave the Orange an opportunity that cashed in shortly thereafter on a short plunge into the end zone. Suddenly, the Panthers were down 14-0 early, and it was time to see exactly what this team was made of, and if they really could fight to the finish. Olison's touchdown run was the first shot, but the defense showed next why you always play to the whistle.
Ball come out, ball's out.
The ball's scooped up. Dane Jackson. Jackson's running to the end zone.
And Dane Jackson scoops and scores. We got a tie ball. Extra point right from a tie ball game, son.
The defense kept making plays, with Amir Watts adding an interception, but it might have been Alex Kessman who's the star of this game, flexing his muscles with 3 field goals of over 50 yards. Heading into halftime with the lead, Pat Narduzzi knew what this team was showing.
Kids, when adversity strikes, what are you going to do? And our guys, didn't phase them at all, which is, tells to the character of this football team. It is 0-0 in the half. We come out second half, and we play the best second half we've ever played. You got me?
Pat Narduzzi did more than change his visor. He also wanted to change how his team approached the second half. So far, they'd yet to put together a decent one. Rafael Arujo-Lopes on a screen pass early on was exactly what the Panthers needed to get off on the right foot in the second half. And it seemed only an act of God could keep the Panthers from running away with this victory. Following a weather delay, the sun shone and seemed to shine bright orange as they began to run over the Panthers with their own powerful running game, as well as quarterback Eric Dungey's inspired play. As Syracuse retook the lead in the fourth quarter, the Panthers decided to try to even things up with a wrinkle of their own. Syracuse was able to retake the lead minutes later on a field goal, and suddenly time was running down, and the Panthers were faced with a 4th and 3, their most important play of the season so far. These plays happen in every year, these are season-defining moments where a first down is not just a new set of downs, and a fourth down failure is not just a turnover. This would be who Pitt was as a team. Pitt had their backs against the wall. They needed this game to have a chance at bowl eligibility. Olsen took the direct snap, faked the handoff to French, and plowed ahead, just getting past the first down marker. Pitt's season could continue and the game still had a chance of going their way. The game wasn't over yet, though. Alex Kessman was needed to send the game into overtime, which he did, and then the Panthers got the ball first. Minutes later, they broke out the Wildcat once again to take the lead in the first overtime. Now Pitt's defense needed to step up one more time and get a stop.
He throws it to the end zone in the pass.
Yeah, baby! The Panthers win! Aaron Coleman!
You had to be here. You just had to be here.
Aaron Coleman found himself at the bottom of the dog pile with all of his teammates and his head coach on top of him. Beating Syracuse is always sweet, but this wasn't about beating a rival. This was about the resilience of a young football team.
Your team with the OT win, your feelings right now.
No, and I love these guys. Talk about adversity. We're down 14, up 10. Now we're down 4. These guys just keep fighting. We got a character football team, and I love those guys. That's all I can say.
Thank you for your time, Coach.
Hail to Pitt.
As high as they've been all year, here come the Irish.
Next, the Panthers would travel to South Bend to face off against an old rival, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. This was a monumental challenge. Notre Dame was entering the game ranked number 5 and undefeated, while Pitt was 3-3.
Third time in the last 7 years, Brian Kelly's team has opened 6-0. The quarterback who took over 3 games ago, Ian Book, since he's been the starter, this offense is averaging 46 points per game. Pat Narduzzi's team won at the eventual national champ, Clemson 2 years ago, ended number 2 Miami's title hopes with an upset last year.
The announcers reminded the fans of Pitt's history defeating ranked opponents, and on the field, the Panthers made sure no one forgot.
Running into trouble and a sack by Rashad Weaver. Direct snap to Olsen coming, and he's got the first down easily.
He's coming right downhill. These are big physical backs, delivering blows.
Olsen again up the middle this time, a touchdown.
Pitt opened the game 7-0, and by the time the Notre Dame offense finally got back on the field, they found themselves in an unfamiliar position. Overmatched.
From the 48, Book. Again taken off. All kinds of trouble. Now throws, and it's intercepted. He threw it late, and Jason Pinnock came up with the pick. And he's down at the 38-yard line.
The Panthers' offense never really got rolling again, but it seemed early on that they wouldn't have to, with the way that the defense was punishing the Notre Dame offense.
Claypool comes in motion here. First and goal. Book, look out, in trouble. Cannot get away, he'll go down.
Irish quarterback Ian Book was spending more time on his back than on his feet. As the Panthers rolled into halftime, they did so with a lead of 7-6 over the number 5 undefeated Fighting Irish. But Pitt wasn't done yet.
Kickoff return coming here to start the half. It is Maurice French for Pittsburgh. French who has a touchdown return this year in the opening game of the season. Is across midfield. He's down the sideline, and he's gone! Maurice French all the way. Second half kickoff. Touchdown Panthers!
Just as he had against Albany, Maurice French opened up the half with a kick return touchdown. The Panthers were now up 14-6. Things weren't getting better for Notre Dame either. Ian Book still didn't look comfortable in the pocket and threw his second interception of the day. Everything was going the Panthers' way, and it looked like another Pitt upset was in the makings. The Irish woke up, bringing the game to a score of 14-12 as the fourth quarter began, and kicker Alex Kessman, who'd been the hero of the week before, missed 2 field goals, preventing the Panthers from extending their lead. It seemed like a matter of time before the Irish pulled ahead, and on a controversial pass interference call, the Irish gained 15 yards, a new set of downs, and eventually the lead. Panthers still had time, but after a blown fake punt attempt on a 4th and 4, it became clear the offense simply didn't have the firepower to get back into the lead. Quarterback Kenny Pickett watched the timer tick down to 0 as the Panthers lost to the Irish 14-19.